Hello and welcome to yet another episode on the Issachar podcast. And I'm your host, Obioko Echisom. And today we'll be talking on a very interesting topic once again. And with me on the studio today is a very beautiful woman. I'm sure most of us will know this woman. So let me know drag it too much. So I'll allow her to introduce herself. So she'll be talking to us on the topic that we have today, being a wife. We want to discuss what being a wife entails, and she will help us to do that. So, mommy,
Good morning. I'm Dr. Mrs. Ndidi, Iheama. So welcome.
thank you so much, mommy, for being with us today. We are so blessed to have you in our midst today.
Thank you.
All right. So, without any further ado, let's get right into what we have today. So, mommy, we said that our topic today will be talking about being a wife. So, I want to know, like, what does being a wife mean to you personally?
Okay. Generally, a wife is a female partner in marriage. The wife was first given by God to a man. So she's a well packaged, ordained, and the best gift from God to a man. Actually, the first gift God gave to a man. Remember in the garden, it was Adam. He had everything.
Mm-hmm.
He had the animal, he had the fruits, he had mango, he had everything, but he still wasn't complete. He still wasn't okay. But a lot of things were missing around him. He still wasn't organized. So when God saw him, he says, something is wrong, something is missing. There is something that you need to get, and your life will be better. So he said, I'll give you before the woman came. So actually, the wife was the best and the first gift. And when the woman came, who became the wife, you saw how Adam expressed himself like, wow, this is the bone of my bone. This is the part of me that became a better part of me.
Yeah.
This is the part of me that does not have, that has some things I do not have. Okay, is a part of me that has some abilities. A woman has a womb. A woman has some features I have, but in a better way, that can feed nations, that can born babies, that can nurse babies. And when Adam saw that, it was like, this is the best gift ever. So you see, the woman is that gift from God. The woman is that part that makes a man okay, satisfied. The woman is that being that when she comes into a man's life, builds him a home. A man is not said to be settled until a wife comes.
Mm.
Okay, so let me not talk about woman. We're talking about the wife. So
Mm.
until the wife came, if you see the advice that Lemuel's mother gave to Lemuel in Proverbs 31, you read from verse 10, it says, the wife, she's more than rubies, and ruby is very costly and expensive. I said, he will give you a name among the elders. But I love the part that said, she will do you good, not evil, all the days of your life. So if a man wants goodness, even God told a man that who can find a wife. No, so it's not easy to find. And when a wife comes, the wife does you good all the days of your life. So she will not do you evil. And not just that, I said that he that finds her finds favor. So you see all the beauty that a
Nice.
wife is
Yeah.
to the husband, to the world around, and also to the children that come with marriage. Is the wife that nurses. In fact, is the wife that carries the baby for 9 months. You know what it means? Like someone will carry another person for a whole 9 months with all the feelings, with all the uneasiness, and then still come out. And this woman is so, a wife is so embodied, can actually have a life depend on her for 6 months. A baby doesn't need to drink water. Everything a baby needed or
So that's
needs is in a woman's life. You don't need water. All you need just air and then me. And for the next 6 months, you're healthy. you're fine, you are growing, you are developing just from a source, the wife. So the wife is that wonderful gift, both to the man and to the child.
Wow, you see the way they are describing who a wife is. A wives everywhere will be feeling, of course, it is
Yes.
us, it is I. Thank you so much for that detailed explanation, mommy. Um, so as you introduce yourself, you are the wife of Reverend Dr. Iheama, and um, I want to ask, how do you balance? And I know you do. You run your ministry. You go to places and you talk to people. At least I know about you. So you go to places, you talk to people. You still work. So I want to know, how do you balance ministry and work with uh, family, being a wife to your husband?
Okay, it's not personal. When God created a woman, God gave the woman ability to multitask. So
Mm-hmm.
it was given by God, it was ordained by God. So it has been there. All you need to do is just to pluck whatever God has given to you. It's not an impossible task. It's not even a big task. Every woman is given the ability. Have you seen picture of a woman carrying a baby at the back, carrying a broom,
Fine.
using one spoon to stir food on the pot,
Yeah,
and then having a baby at the
at the back.
back, and then having one dragging him, then having the husband dragging the better part of the bigger part of her. So a woman comes with that ability. So it's not just me. Every woman, once you know and you understand you can, you will. So personally for me, it's not just that I work outside the states. I work in Anambra and I live in Enugu. Still married as an archdeacon's wife in Anglican Communion, having my children to take care of. So it's balance, okay? Knowing all you have to do, putting them down and giving time to them. And most importantly, taking away things you don't need.
Mm.
Anything that is distracting, anything that is not part of your plan must not be put into your plan by whosoever. So if this is what not what you ought to do now, nobody brings it in. Yes, some things can come up, but everything boils down to planning and then taking good care of yourself. If you are not healthy, you can't do anything. Okay.
All right, all right. Everything boils down to planning. Right, nice. Okay. Um. I also want to know, like, before you got married and now, were there adjustments you made now that you are married? Like, maybe things that you do before, or when you got married, you had to make adjustments just for it to better your marriage or something like that.
Every married woman must make adjustments.
Okay.
You now have to take care of your own children before you took care of your siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you're not even the first, so you have some other persons taking care of your siblings. Your mom, dad probably were there. Okay, so you must make necessary adjustments. Adjustment down to your spiritual life. Maybe before now you can wake up by 3 a.m. and you pray till 3 p.m. But as a married woman, you have to get children ready for school.
Mm-hmm.
You are now waiting on a man. uh, Amongst many things you want to do, your husband still wants you to do some other things. So,
Yeah.
because a wife takes care of the husband, herself, the children. So, all these things now are new assignments for you. So, a lot of adjustments. Perhaps when you were not married, you were not doing the same work. I wasn't working as a lecturer when I was single. The best I did was to work as a secondary school teacher. But now you still have to prepare to take different levels of students in the university. Take care of the church. When I wasn't married, I wasn't a priest's wife. So I didn't have the women waiting to be taken care of.
Yeah.
I didn't have the girls. Okay, before I got married, I had girls because I was fully involved in SU. I was involved with youth work and secondary school. I had those ones. But now, the ones you were doing as a single lady, plus the added work. So a lot of adjustments to make.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, ma, now I don't know. It's as if there was a time, I don't know if it's still happening now, that conflicts, not even conflicts, divorce was coming back to back. And I don't know, most of them should be based on conflicts. right? So I want to know, like, how do you handle conflicts uh, in marriage and with love and respect? Because all these divorce, I feel like if they knew how to settle their conflicts, it will not be as rampant as it was. So how do you manage conflicts with love, maintaining love and respect in the family?
Divorce has increased now than ever. So if you ever heard it before, it is much more now. Handling conflict, first of all, depends on the persons having the conflict. Once two human beings are staying together, doing things together, because they operate from different mindsets, there will be misunderstanding. But handling misunderstanding depends on the two. So if we're talking about marriage now, we're talking about the husband and the wife. Every husband and wife have problems, much more when they got married newly, because it was a time of trying to adjust to each other. But amidst this, maturity comes in. There are times you look at a matter and you feel this one doesn't need to be given any time, any strength. You just forget about it. When I mean forget about it, I'm not talking about sweeping it under the carpet and then it comes up tomorrow. There are things maturity makes you to drop and you don't talk about them. It goes. You just know that this is a human being. You don't expect the person to be an angel. So you see all those flaws and still go on with life. I don't need to talk about it. Then there are some other times some conflicts arise and really they are bigger than you. That is when you speak to someone. Some persons call it third person. It's not third person. When they say there should not be a third person in a marriage,
Yeah.
a counselor is not a third person. A third person is maybe when I bring my mom in and my
Mm,
mom gets into every matter, decides what happens in the house. When I get my friend into my marriage and everything that happens between me and my husband, I discuss with my friend. My friend even says things that will happen. That's a third party. But when you need help, please run for help. And conflicts come in different dimensions. Do you know that so many conflicts in marriage do not come from the husband and the wife? They come from maybe things you want to please the family, you want to steal something external outside two of you. So maturity helps you understand that the most important person here is your spouse, your children. So you love will make you understand this is my husband. I am married. In fact, if you remove divorce from your mind and know that, and of course, Bible says, I hate divorce. If you take it off your mind, then you are ready to settle anything that comes
it
up.
comes up.
Matters are settled in many ways, even when it comes with that quarrel, raising of voice. Don't forget, we are raising this voice to bring it
Bring it
down,
down later.
to finally bring it down and keep living.
So maturity, it has to do with both maturity and love and knowing that there is no divorce. So whatever that is happening, we just have to settle it. Okay, thank you, mommy. So when you were explaining who a wife is, you mentioned something about a help meet, a helper, something like that. So um what does it truly mean to be a helpmeet to your husband? Like, what does it truly mean to be a helpmeet?
Okay. This is the side of a wife I love to talk about. This analogy when the church needed help and they couldn't help, when they needed God to step in, God said, I'll send you a help. And God sent the Holy
Yes,
Spirit.
yeah.
The Holy Spirit came, was a comforter, was an advocate, was a counselor, was a standby, was there to remind them of all things, was there to help them do whatever. When a man needed help, remember the church needed help and the Holy Spirit came. When
Mhm.
a man needed help, the woman came. So the woman also came like the Holy Spirit came. And you see the wonderful work of the woman. The woman is a comfort to the husband. The woman is a counselor. There are times the woman will say, calm down. Okay, the woman is a helper. The woman is a standby. There are times this man does not have money, and who brings the money? The woman. Times the man does not know what to do. Oh, what a man doesn't even go as far as thinking of what would the family eat. This man knows there is a standby, someone to provide it. But this man is so confused. and doesn't know how to go about a matter, don't worry. But the problem is that so many men do not involve their wife. They don't know what the wife carries. They don't know the abilities in the woman. So they lose it out. They don't want to tell the wife everything. They want to hide some part of. If you tell the wife about your finance, the wife makes it enough, multiplies it.
Mm.
So a helper, and the Bible said a helpmeet,
Mm.
like the help suitable, the help fitted for you. So the woman was made, the wife was made, the help you need, the help perfectly made to match your needs. So this helper comes. Okay, you look Abigail. Abigail had a wonderful husband, a terrible one, Nabal. And when someone gave birth to a son and called him Nabal, and Nabal means being a fool, and the man acted it out. But what did Abigail do? Abigail ran in when the husband was supposed to be killed and intervened. So it's not just being a help. The woman intervenes, the wife intervenes. When Jesus needed to come, the wife of the man was the person the angel met, Mary, you remember. So Mary was a destiny helper. If Mary never accepted, Mary wouldn't have been a vessel. So you see that woman being in the place of helping, helping, helping. Is the woman that sees your face. Is the woman that knows you're not feeling fine. Is the woman that is a doctor, knows the drugs to give. Is the woman that when temperature, you see how the young child has headache in the night and the man carries him comfortably and gives to the wife. Please, nurse, do your work. As you're doing your work, the woman is the cleaner. The wife is still the cleaner in the house. The wife is the security man and the security woman. Everybody goes to bed. The woman still goes around to see that doors are locked. When there is a noise somewhere, who hears it as the man is snoring on the bed? It's the
The
woman that
woman.
still peeps through the window to see what's going on. The woman is still the cook. The woman is still, in most cases and in so many ways, still the one providing. Even when the man has money, still the woman providing. So when you talk about help, it's an all-round thing. When God gave a wife to a man, God really helped a man, not just giving the man a help. If a man has a good wife, the man is a helped man.
Mm. It all boils down to having a good wife because because not everybody. Oh, I mean, so women have the mentality that they are the wife, and especially when their husbands have money, so they feel like they don't really have to do anything in the house. The husbands are the ones, they call them the breadwinners, so they should provide for the bread. So it all boils down to having a good wife who knows that actually this is what I am here to do. All right, thank you so much, ma'am. We are learning. Okay, so another thing I want to know is what role does submission play in a marriage, and how can it be practiced in a healthy, both healthy and biblical way? I said healthy because um when you don't submit to like bring yourself down very well to your husband, and then they begin to, I don't know, see it as that you're weak. I don't know how to put it, but they start misusing it or something like that. So that's the avenue where the man now sees that he can shout on the wife, or just because she decided to submit. So by I brought in both healthy and in a biblical way. How can it be practiced both ways?
Do you think that submitting to a husband means going under the table and the man sits on top of the table?
No, not really.
Okay, it is not. Now, to submit to a man is very easy, very, very easy. But it becomes this easy when the man loves the wife. When you know this is my wife, I'm to take responsibility. This woman needs to stay healthy. This woman needs to look good. This woman needs to be taken care of. When you see love, you submit. It's very easy to submit when you see love. At some other point, the man doesn't take responsibility and does not know his role. And a godly woman will still submit. That's when it looks difficult because you are submitting. a man is even beating you, you still want to keep calm. Well, please, I want to just give a balance to some things. Submission does not mean your husband is beating you and you're quiet. You never told your pastor, you never told his parents, you didn't tell your parents, nobody knows about it. That does not mean you are submitting, it means you don't love yourself. So, when it comes to submitting to the man, you do that under the Lord, in the Lord. If it is something costing you your life, please, that's not submission. So when it is being submissive to a man, you are like, okay, the way they describe it, he's the head, you are the neck carrying the head. Okay, he decides what happens. He says, okay, we are spending this is what we are doing with our money now, this is the project for the year. You are the wife, you agree with him. Said, okay, the children are going to this school, no problem, they go to that school. Okay, this is, you are earning this, I'm earning this, this is how we run the family, no problem. So submission does not come when there is tyranny, when the man is like the principal and you are the pupil. It's not a good relationship. So when everything is okay, it's easy to submit. So being submissive is not difficult, but the man must know that he's the head. The head must bring coverage. The head must take care of the family. The head must make sure that this woman lives. When you see a man that lost the wife, it's a terrible thing. You won't know what to do, where to start, how to take care of the kids. When a woman's husband dies, the woman feels bad. But just give her 1 month. The woman sits back and takes charge of the family. Things keep moving. You don't, we are 8 in the family. I was 12 plus when my dad died. But my mom just buried the husband, was doing a petty business, but was still able to take care of us. And we all grew up, we all got married, and everyone has his family or her family. So being submissive is okay. It's stressless. I'm happy I'm not the head. I'm happy someone is at the front and I'm following. But it comes easier where there is love. Because that's the pattern. It says, husbands, love your
Mm.
wives. Wives, submit to your husband. So, excuse me, when you have your love covering me, your love pampering me, why won't I submit? Who does not love to submit when love is there? So, it's easy. It's not difficult. Once things are done the normal way.
Okay, so well, what if, like you said, when he suggests something, you agree with it? What if what he's suggesting is, and in the natural eyes, or like that it's not good, or something, like, say, I don't know I don't know the example to use now, but like what he's suggesting is not really good, it's not going to benefit. Do you like tell him? And if he's a man that doesn't really like being um told what to do or what not to do, or giving instances or something like that, how do you deal with something like that? How do you deal with a man like that?
Men have ego, and you don't play with that. If he insists, you can, you can advise. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually say, sweetheart, let's do this differently. I'm thinking this will be better. I'm thinking if we do this, it will work. And he said, no, let's do it this way. There's no problem. Get it done that way. If it doesn't work, we know we have made the mistake. Sometimes it's going to hurt. You will lose money. You would have wasted time, resources, but let him have his way. Next time, he will consider listening to you. Once it's not something that will cause death, that's why it's very important. We still have people we submit to.
Mm-hmm.
When we need to talk to somebody, we can still talk to someone that can talk to him, but that must not be often. If you look at that matter and you wait, you can just let it be. Let him go ahead, do whatever he has decided. And at the end of the day, when he's not working, please don't say, did I not tell you? That will even break the back of the horse. So just allow it. Don't even make reference to it. He has brain, so he's calculating too.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, mommy. So, um, I want to know, I'm sure every other person wants to know, are there like qualities? Okay, what are the qualities? Of course, there are qualities. So, what are the qualities that a wife should inculcate into herself before or even while in marriage that would help build and maintain her marriage?
Okay. If you look at Proverbs 31, it wasn't a woman that letter was written to, it was a man. The mom called him to tell him the qualities of a woman to marry. The wife of noble character, a virtuous woman. Says this woman wakes up early, is the last to go to bed. Before you get married to a girl, you don't know when the girl wakes up and when the girl goes to bed. But that's trying to tell you a hard working lady. And we know them when we see them. Okay? Hard working, a woman that fears the Lord. I love reading that scripture from the Passion Translation. It says, the woman prays for the family while they are asleep. So the praying girl, a hardworking girl. And when the Bible says this woman sees a land, buys it, it tells you this is somebody that is so firm with that. Do I call this woman a go-getter? We see them among girls. But when you see a young girl, do I say that is often what we see today? We love easy life. We behave like we don't have, not, let me not say we now. I'm not part of it. Like young girls behave like they don't have sense. You see them, even their dressing tells you something is wrong with their head. You see them cling to any man they see. When you see that kind of loose living, you know the person can be your wife. Any girl you look at and you don't want your daughters to be modeled after her cannot be your wife and ought not to be your wife. So by the time you are looking at this lady, I hope you want your daughters to look like her, to dress like her, to talk like her, because marriage doesn't just happen. Before you even tell a girl, I love you, I want to marry you need to observe her from a distance, get to know about her. So as you're looking at her from wherever, is this girl that can stand anywhere, talk to anybody anyhow, and doesn't care? Person won't be a good wife. Person will insult you in the public, disgrace you in the public. The girl that says, no, this very rampant talk. Whatever, however I feel, I express it. When I get angry, I'm not like people that hold it or keep it in their mind. I just talk about it. Something is wrong with that girl. So when you are observing the girl, most women have problem with the tongue. They can just talk. In fact, they can kill with words. Do you know how many husbands that have been sent to the grave because of the sins told
Yes.
them by their wives? You are useless, unproductive. I regret marrying you. You're the worst husband ever. Your husband, because he's a man and his pride, wants to respond to tell you, I don't care. But he does. Those words sink deep and they gradually kill the man. So when you see a girl, sometimes from wealthy home, and this girl is still humble. Some other persons, they don't have anything, but you won't hear any word around them. They brag about, and even their steps tell you that this person has nobody that can be compared to her. He's not caring. Do you know when I talk about the virtues of a woman, I make reference to Jezebel. Jezebel was a caring wife. The day the husband came back and his countenance was poor, she was like, honey, what's wrong? You are not smiling. Is all well? Did business go well? Before the man told her the problem, Jezebel did the next thing. Said, okay, don't worry. What a godly woman would have done. Don't worry. I'll go on my knees. I'll fast. I'll tell God about this. I'll speak the word of God about this. That was exactly what Jezebel did. Go from the negative side, settled her husband's matter. That's a wife. Forget that she has demon and devil, but that's a wife. So on our side, being a wife, as you're seeing this young girl growing, how caring. You can even see her and hear her say things like, I don't care. I don't give a damn. And this is the girl you want to marry. And this is the wife you want to bring home. Like if you want to die, die. Once it doesn't get to me, a girl that is always detached from everybody, no empathy, no feelings for another person. This feeling, I'm not talking about romantic feeling. Like someone just lost someone, and your response is, do you know how many persons I've lost? You just lost a phone and nothing like, sorry, oh, phone is so expensive now. It's a common phone, will not hear for you. When you see those things and you are very spiritual, you think prayers will change this girl. When this girl becomes your wife, is a problem. So, what makes a woman a good wife is in this sense that same woman, even as a single lady, even as a growing girl. A woman doesn't come in and change automatically. Whatever that was in her magnifies, manifests in a higher way.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much, mommy. So you made mention to going on your knees. I want to ask, what role does prayer play in the family, in your family as a wife now? What role does prayer play?
Prayer is everything in the family. Prayer is the beginning. Prayer is at the center. Prayer is at the back. Prayer is in the front.
At the
Prayer is
end.
in the end. So it is prayer, prayer, prayer. Woe betide a man whose wife does not wake up to pray, whose wife does not have a good prayer life, whose wife cannot stand in the place of prayer. Even with a baby in your womb, you need prayers. To deliver a baby, you need prayers. To raise a baby, you need prayers. You can't be with your children every time, but I love being a prophetic wife. You can know what is happening with your children wherever they are. Once you pray for them, you give time, and then you hear God concerning them. You even hear God concerning your husband. You pray for your husband. See, instead of all this nagging, he does not care. He is not interested in his family. Go and pray for him. Pray for his business. If his business is doing well, the family will do well. If his ministry is doing well, if he's good, if he's stable emotionally, there will be peace in the house. So set the atmosphere of prayer. Don't pray alone. Get the children to pray too. Get the family to pray. The man may not have the time. I may not even feel up to it, coming to pray with you people all the time. I may even be complaining every time you're praying, every time you're praying. But the more he complains, the more you pray. Don't pray when you are supposed to be cooking.
Mm.
Don't pray when you're supposed to be doing some other thing, but find a good time to pray. Your prayer life, your prayer life is more important than just anything. Pray, have a time to pray, and pray all around the clock. Pray while cooking those food. You've heard of food poisoning,
Mm.
where someone cooked and all the children ate and died.
Mm.
And because mom eats late, maybe by the time you are about eating, the children are already dead. So pray while cooking, pray while doing laundry, pray all the time. Pray till destiny is formed in everyone.
Mm.
Pray till they come to why God brought them into the world. Pray until your husband is established. Sometimes marriage starts with two very young persons who are still trying to find their way around life. Pray till those ways are found. Pray till your answers come. And when your answers come, pray to sustain those answers and pray for the answers yet to come. So you pray and pray
Mm.
and
Pray.
pray and pray and
Really
pray
nice.
again.
I keep praying.
And keep
Prayer is
praying.
really important. Okay, so like, is there a time that I'm supposed to? Let me use myself now first. Is there a time that I'm supposed to start preparing for being a wife, or is it when I get to the age of marriage, or do I start now, like to start preparing to be a wife, or when I get to the age of marriage, or even when God, I don't know.
Leads your heart to a man.
Yes, I now start
I
preparing.
said earlier that what you become as a wife is
So,
all you have always been as a young girl.
so
If you want to learn how to cook when the man comes, how many of those food will you learn? Would you have learned by the time you are wedding? So it starts from the time. That's why when you are raising a girl, you're raising a wife.
mm,
Every girl is a wife to be. Though not all girls finally become wives. So many girls don't get married finally.
Mm.
And part of it is because of the way you raise them. They look down on every man. They expect what nobody knows from men. So every proposal will not work because they don't meet their defined parameters and standards. So from the day a girl is born, you teach the girl to be a wife. I remember as a young girl, my mom would come back from market and ask me, "What are we eating today?" That's the question I'm supposed to be asking my mom. Then my mom will ask me, "What are we eating today?" Consciously, she's preparing me for being a wife. So you start raising the girl to keep the house clean, to keep herself clean, to carry herself well, to take care of others, to manage her time well, to talk well. Even her gesture, sometimes you see girls, wind their eyes, their body, and everything. Your daughter learns it naturally from school. But when your daughter comes in, that's not how to behave. That's not how to talk. Why opening your eye while talking? Why are you dancing? You can talk being steady. Okay, so you groom. And if it is you now, because you are growing up, you're beginning to look at, there are some things you may not like in your mom. There are some things you may prefer how other women do them. You start learning, you start growing. Okay, there are some kinds of food that are not cooked in your house, and you see them eating in other homes. You learn. So at this time, once you're growing, you are not yet married, you begin to learn, you begin to prepare, you begin to pray. In just three, one man spoke to us. I think that was Kiki Breaks
Mm.
about marriage. See, I was praying that day about marriage. And ever since that just three, I started praying about my marriage. And you don't think I'm praying about my marriage and I'm not preparing for my marriage. Okay, you prepare. Sometimes you leave your house, you go to another person's house and see how that house is running, and you desire your home to be that way. You begin to learn. You monitor how they do things. If you have opportunity to see them cook, you learn how to cook some of those things. If you see how people honor their husbands, you are learning. Maybe you didn't see that with your parents. You didn't see that submission with your parents. You begin to learn. When you hear your opportunity to be in seminars, your opportunity to hear people talk, you also keep learning. So you don't wait till the day you enter a man's house. In fact, if you wait, you're going to have a lot of bruises, not because he's beating you, but because of regrets. I would have done this better. If only I knew this. If only that. If only that. You see little children. Wild. I was seeing a wedding and a mother asked the son to pick something. If you see the expression on his face, he did whatever he did with his face, turned the other way, and never picked what her mom asked him to pick. No, the woman was not raised well. So, how will you raise a child well? I want to imagine my mom, my own mom, tell me to pick things, and you did not pick, the thing will pick you. So you don't start learning when you're already married. What is not in you doesn't suddenly come to you. So you begin to groom yourself. See some excesses in you, some things that are not working. Drop them. Learn to tolerate others. You are staying with your siblings. When they provoke you, you leave the room. Sometimes you go and sleep in the parlor. Some other times you travel to your auntie's house. When husband provokes you, whose house will you go to? Your father's house. Your mom will send you back that same evening. Sometimes you come to your father's house, they're asking you, as they're saying you welcome, they're asking you, how long are you
Are you stay?
staying? I hope you will stay up to 1 week, or are you going back the next day? It tells you you do not belong here. Oh. We are waiting for the day you leave. So at this time, you begin to tell yourself, even when you have roommates in school, you can't bear with your roommates. They scatter your beds. They take the water more than they're supposed to. They don't do. You complain about. If you keep doing that, you are going to complain till you have high blood pressure in marriage. So you also learn to accommodate. A lot of things to learn, but you must have to learn them. Else, it will be so clear you do not know them.
Hmm. Wow. Okay, we're rounding off. We've picked so much already. Like a lot of we have talked to everybody, both to the wives and to us that will become wives one day. Okay, so mommy, what advice would you give to any woman that is going into marriage?
Marriage is beautiful. You plan for it. You don't plan by looking around, looking for a fine guy, a fine brother, a made man. You plan by making yourself, develop yourself, teach yourself, groom yourself, talk to yourself. If you are somebody given to spending, have you had four women in your vehicle driving to somewhere and you just drive through a boutique? It will be like about turn all the eye that way. And that is how it also happens with buying. So if you are this person that every cloth you see on Facebook, you save it. Everyone you see anywhere, you save it. You want to make clothes. You want to buy footwear. You want to buy bag. You want to spend money. You want to eat shawarma. What do you call them? Ice cream. All of them. You want to spend money, spend money, spend money, spend money. You need to start giving yourself some control. There's going to be a time where there is money and the needs canvassing for this available money is so much that you need to wear. The Igbo women would say that they wore one cloth, one wrapper, and raised 8 children. It is true. Some of them can stay a whole year without adding one cloth to their wardrobe. So you need to start teaching yourself and then quit living a selfish life. Me, myself, and I.
Nah,
Me time, me love,
self-love.
selfie. You need to understand now. It is the husband, the children, and in fact, it's everybody before you. When the food is not enough, you see, children are wonderful. They don't understand food is not enough. So as you're dishing out food, before you are getting to the fourth child, the first one returns the plate. I want more. So you keep giving food, and some other times you go to bed. And that's
Mhm.
Mom, you're not eating, no worry, I'm fasting.
Yeah.
So you learn to understand that you're not the one bearing everybody. And the last thing I want to say, every woman has a signature on her children. When you see children, trace whatever they do to the woman. I've taught in schools. You see children that are wayward, they come to school dirty, they don't do assignment. Wait till you meet their mom. Their mom must be a very scattered human being, dirty, unorganized. Meet that child that is so coordinated, comports herself, comes to school neat, intelligent, doing what he ought to do. Wait to see the mom. It's not the dad. In fact, see a neat man. That man has a neat woman. See a man that is well dressed outside. That man has a good wife at home. Else, do you know, the only time men take care of themselves is before they get married. Immediately they marry, they don't know how to dress themselves again. They don't even know how to wash clothes again. Some of them will tell you, I can cook for Africa. And it's only in history that you hear them. They don't near the kitchen again. Sometimes when you travel and you've made soup for them, stew, sauce, including making the white rice, they won't bring it out to warm. And this is the same person that bragged how they sold food while they raised themselves cooking food. So you see, the wife is still the air the man breathes, the air the children breathe, is the clothes they wear, the woman is the food they eat. You see them healthy, they have a woman with good head. You see the man okay, the man has a woman that is fine, coordinated, cool, and comported at home. So the woman reflects. You see her image on her children, see her image on the husband. You see everything around their family tells you what the woman is like.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so we have finally come to the end of today's episode. But before I we stop, I just hope that we've learned so much because she talked to everybody. I mean, she addressed us as growing wives and the wives already. And one thing I learned from this episode is that what you become as a wife is what you are now. So I should really start working on myself. I'm not talking for him, I'm talking for myself. I should really start working on myself to become actually become a good wife. when I get married. So, and every other thing, every other lesson that was said on this episode today, I just hope that we picked all of them and we'll be putting it into practice. And for the present wives, I hope we did learn um things from this episode as well. So we've come to the end of today's episode, and I hope you enjoyed it as usual. Please, if you have not subscribed, you're not doing yourself any good. Please and please, it's not hard, it's not difficult. Just down there, just I said so. Please subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification button so that when we release new videos, you see it as well. And please, if you have any thoughts, if you have any question, please put it down in the comment section and we'll always attend to it. Thank you so much and have a nice time. Bye. Mommy, thank you.